Today, we're tackling a story that has sent shockwaves through the Little People, Big World fandom. It's a tale of love, betrayal, heartbreak, and a stunning twist that no one saw coming. Amy Roloff and Chris Marek, the couple we thought was destined for a happily ever after, have officially divorced. And if that wasn't shocking enough, reports are swirling that Chris Marek has already moved on with a secret girlfriend he's now married to. Yes, you heard that right. Chris Marek married her secret girlfriend. Buckle up, because this story is wild, emotional, and full of unexpected turns. Let's get into it. For those of you who followed Little People, Big World since it premiered on TLC back in 2006, Amy Roloff has been the heart and soul of the show. A mother of four, a businesswoman, and a beacon of resilience, Amy captured our hearts as she navigated life on Roloff Farms with her then-husband, Matt Roloff. Their divorce in 2016, after nearly 3 decades of marriage, was a gut punch for fans. But when Amy found love again with Chris Marek, it felt like a second chance at happiness. Their 2021 wedding at Roloff Farms was a fairy tale moment, or so we thought. Today, we're peeling back the layers of what led to the end of their marriage and the bombshell revelation of Chris's secret girlfriend-turned-wife. This is a story of love lost, secrets uncovered, and a new chapter that's left fans reeling. Let's rewind to where it all began. Amy Roloff and Chris Marek's love story started in 2016, just a year after Amy's painful divorce from Matt Roloff. If you've watched the show, you know Amy wasn't looking for love. After 27 years of marriage, 4 kids, and the emotional roller coaster of filming a reality show, Amy was focused on rediscovering herself. But fate had other plans. At a pool party in 2016, Amy met Chris Marek, a charming real estate agent with a love for motorcycles and a warm smile that won her over. Their first date? A thrilling motorcycle ride that Amy later described as a ball on Little People, Big World. It was a moment that felt like a fresh start, a spark of joy after years of heartache. Chris was different from Matt in so many ways. Where Matt was ambitious and focused on the farm, Chris was laid back, supportive, and seemingly uninterested in the spotlight. Fans loved how he embraced Amy's world, from her family to her life on camera. He even built a bond with Amy's ex-husband, Matt, which was no small feat given the tension post-divorce. In a 2018 episode, Chris and Matt were seen joking together, and fans thought, wow, this guy is the real deal. He's bridging divides and fitting right into the Roloff family. By 2019, Amy and Chris were inseparable. He proposed to her on September 19, 2019, at their favorite restaurant, just days after Amy's 55th birthday. The ring? A heart-shaped diamond, exactly what Amy had always dreamed of. She said yes, and fans were over the moon. Their engagement was a beacon of hope for anyone who thought love couldn't bloom again after heartbreak. But planning a wedding wasn't easy. The COVID-19 pandemic delayed their plans, and Amy, ever the perfectionist, wanted everything to be just right. They finally tied the knot on August 28, 2021, at Roloff Farms, in front of 146 friends and family. The day was magical, with Amy walking down the aisle to a song written by Chris' best man, Rick Hines, and the couple dancing to the Macy Garda bands at the end of the day. Amy told People magazine, "Our wedding day is a special day, but our marriage is a lifetime together." It felt like a promise that this love would last forever. For the next few years, Amy and Chris seemed to thrive. They'd moved into a $589,000 home away from Roloff Farms, giving Amy a fresh start. Chris supported Amy's ventures, from her charity work to her cooking brand, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. On social media, Amy shared glimpses of their life, date nights, motorcycle rides, and cozy evenings with her grandkids. Fans saw a woman who had found her happily ever after. But behind the scenes, cracks were starting to form. And those cracks would eventually lead to the unraveling of their marriage. No marriage is perfect, and Amy and Chris was no exception. While their love story seemed picture-perfect on Little People, Big World, there were signs of trouble that fans didn't fully pick up on until recently. Let's break it down. First, there was the challenge of blending their lives. Amy, a reality TV star with a public persona, had a life rooted in family, faith, and the Roloff legacy. Chris, on the other hand, was a private person, a real estate agent who wasn't used to cameras following his every move. In early episodes, Amy admitted she was still figuring out what dating even meant after her long marriage to Matt. Chris, meanwhile, was navigating a relationship with a woman whose life was under a microscope. It wasn't always easy. In a 2021 episode, Amy shared that their tastes sometimes clashed, and planning the wedding was challenging. Fans chalked it up to normal couple dynamics, but looking back, it was a sign that their visions for the future didn't always align. Another issue: the shadow of Roloff Farms. Even after Amy sold her portion of the farm to Matt post-divorce, the property remained a central part of her life. Chris, who had no prior connection to the farm, sometimes seemed out of place in that world. In a 2022 episode, he admitted to feeling like an outsider when Amy and Matt worked together on farm events. It was a subtle hint that Chris was struggling to find his footing in Amy's complicated family dynamic. Then there was the dynamic with Matt and his fiancée, Karen Chandler. Amy and Matt's divorce was messy, and while they've worked hard to maintain a cordial co-parenting relationship, there was always tension. Chris, surprisingly, got along well with Matt. So well that it sometimes bothered Amy. In a 2024 episode, a producer called Chris out for gossiping about Amy with Matt behind her back. It was played off as a lighthearted moment, but fans noticed Amy's discomfort. Was Chris too close to Matt? Did he feel caught between Amy's past and her present? These questions started to bubble up in fan discussions online. By 2023, rumors started swirling that Amy and Chris were facing challenges. Fans noticed Chris was less visible on Amy's social media, and there were fewer joint appearances on Lpbw. Some speculated that the couple had briefly split in 2020, when Chris was absent from Amy's posts for a few months. At the time, they brushed it off as a scheduling issue, but now we know there was more to the story. Sources close to the couple, friends and former crew members who've chosen to remain anonymous, say that by mid-2023, Amy and Chris were living separate lives. Amy was spending more time with her grandkids and focusing on her charity work, while Chris was diving deeper into his real estate business, often traveling for work. The distance, both emotional and physical, was growing. The final straw came in early 2025. According to insiders, Amy discovered text messages on Chris's phone that hinted at an emotional connection with another woman. At first, Amy tried to dismiss it as a misunderstanding. She'd been through a painful divorce before and was determined to make this marriage work. But the messages kept coming, and by March 2025, Amy confronted Chris. The conversation was heated, emotional, and devastating. Chris admitted to forming a close relationship with a colleague from his real estate firm, someone he'd been working with for years. Amy felt blindsided. She trusted Chris, believed he was her partner for life. The betrayal cut deep, and by April 2025, Amy filed for divorce. The news broke quietly at first, with no official statement from either Amy or Chris. But fans started to notice Amy's cryptic Instagram posts, quotes about resilience and moving forward. It was clear something was wrong. In May 2025, the news broke officially. Amy Roloff and Chris Merrick were divorced. The announcement came via a joint statement on Amy's Instagram, a short but heartfelt message that read, "With heavy hearts, Chris and I have decided to part ways. We remain grateful for the love and memories we shared and ask for privacy during this time." Fans were stunned. How could this couple, who seemed so solid, fall apart so quickly? The Little People, Big World subreddit exploded with theories, and tabloids ran wild with speculation. Some blamed the pressures of reality TV, others pointed to Chris' friendship with Matt. and a few eagle-eyed fans wondered if there was someone else in the picture. They weren't wrong. The divorce was finalized quietly, with no public details about the settlement. Amy, who has an estimated net worth of $4.5 million from her TLC career and Roloff Farms, likely walked away with their shared home, while Chris, whose income comes from his real estate business, kept his assets separate. Sources say the process was amicable but emotionally draining for Amy. She leaned on her family, especially her son Zach and daughter-in-law Tori, for support. In a June 2025 episode of their podcast, Raising Heights, Zach hinted at his mother's heartbreak, saying, "Things were rocky with her for a bit, but she's the strongest person I know." Tori added that Amy was focusing on being the best grandma ever to cope with the pain. Amy threw herself into her work, posting more recipes on Amy Roloff's Lil Kitchen and planning a new charity fundraiser. But the pain was evident. In a rare candid moment on Lpbw's final season, which aired in early 2025, Amy tearfully told a producer, "I thought this was forever. I really did." Fans rallied around her, flooding her social media with messages of support. But while Amy was picking up the pieces, Chris was moving on in a way no one expected. Now, here's where the story takes a jaw-dropping turn. Just months after the divorce was finalized, rumors surfaced that Chris Merrick was not only dating someone new, but had already married her. The woman in question, a colleague from his real estate firm, a woman we'll call Lauren to protect her privacy, as her identity hasn't been fully confirmed. According to sources close to Chris, Lauren is a fellow real estate agent in her early 50s, known for her professionalism and charm. She and Chris had worked together for years, often collaborating on high-profile deals in the Portland area. What started as a professional relationship turned into something more, and by late 2024, they were reportedly spending time together outside of work. Insiders say Chris and Lauren bonded over their shared passion for real estate and their desire for a life away from the public eye. Unlike Amy, who lived in the spotlight, Lauren offered Chris a quieter, more private world. They were spotted together at industry events, and by June 2025, just weeks after the divorce was finalized, Chris and Lauren reportedly tied the knot in a small, private ceremony in Oregon. The wedding was a stark contrast to Amy and Chris's 2021 nuptials. No cameras, no TLC special, just a handful of close friends and family. A source who attended the event described it as intimate and heartfelt, with Lauren wearing a simple white dress and Chris looking happier than he's been in years. The news of Chris's marriage hit Amy's fans like a ton of bricks. Social media erupted with reactions, from anger at Chris to sympathy for Amy. Some fans accused Chris of infidelity, pointing to the timeline of his relationship with Lauren. Others defended him, arguing that he and Amy had grown apart naturally. On Instagram, one user posted, "Chris moved on fast. Did he even wait for the ink to dry on the divorce papers?" Another wrote, "Amy deserves better. Chris and his secret girlfriend can stay out of the spotlight." The debate raged on, with fans divided over whether Chris had betrayed Amy or simply found a better match. For Amy, the news was a fresh wound. She hasn't publicly addressed Chris' new marriage, but those close to her say she's focusing on her family and her faith. In a recent Instagram post, she shared a photo with her grandkids, captioned, "These are the moments that matter most." It's classic Amy, resilient, forward-focused, and determined to find joy despite the pain. But the question remains, how did Chris move on so quickly? Was Lauren truly a secret girlfriend, or was this a relationship that developed after the marriage ended? The truth may never be fully clear, but the timeline has raised eyebrows. So where does Amy go from here? If there's one thing little people, big world fans know, it's that Amy Roloff is a survivor. She's faced challenges before. Her divorce from Matt, the loss of her mother in 2019, and the ups and downs of raising a family in the public eye. This divorce is another hurdle. But Amy is already showing signs of strength. She's poured herself into her charity, Amy Roloff Charity Foundation, which supports foster youth and people with disabilities. She's also spending more time with her 7 grandchildren, who she calls the light of my life. In a recent Lpbw episode, Amy told Zach, "Life doesn't always go the way you plan, but you find a way to keep going." Fans have been vocal about their support for Amy. On Instagram, one user wrote, "Amy is an inspiration. She's been through so much and still shines." Another posted, "Chris who? Amy's got this. She's a queen." The outpouring of love has been a lifeline for Amy, who's always been open about how much her fans mean to her. Meanwhile, Chris and Lauren have stayed out of the spotlight, focusing on their new life together. Some sources say they're planning to relocate to a quieter part of Oregon, away from the Roloff Farms drama. Whether they'll ever address the rumors publicly remains to be seen. As Lpbw wrapped its final season in 2025, the focus shifted to the next generation of Roloffs. Zach and Tori are raising their 3 kids, Jeremy and Audrey are expecting their 3rd, and Jacob and Isabel are embracing parenthood with their son Mateo. Amy, now 62, is no longer the center of the TLC spotlight, but her story continues to resonate. She's proof that you can face heartbreak and come out stronger. And while Chris Marek's new marriage has raised questions, it's clear that Amy's journey is far from over. The story of Amy Roloff and Chris Marek's divorce, and his subsequent marriage to his secret girlfriend, is a reminder that even the most public lives have private struggles. Amy's resilience, her love for her family, and her commitment to making a difference continue to inspire millions. As for Chris, his new chapter with Lauren may be the fresh start he was seeking, but it's come at the cost of fan backlash and lingering questions. What do you think about this shocking turn of events? Are you Team Amy, or do you think Chris deserves a chance to tell his side? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. More update. Did Amy Roloff make Chris Marek quit his job? Not a realtor anymore. And Little People, Big World Preview. Amy admits it's not easy visiting ex Matt and Karen in Arizona. Amy Roloff talks about dealing with interrupting fans. People speak out on their interactions with the Roloffs. I will explain everything. As far as TLC programs go, Little People, Big World has been airing the longest. When it first debuted in 2006, Lpbw was about 20 years long. There are noticeable differences in the life experiences of all members of the family. I, Amy Roloff, am one of those people. Despite their prominent roles in the show, she and Matt eventually broke up and went their own ways. While she was there, Amy met Chris Marek. They became friends for a while, then began dating, and eventually tied the knot. Anyone who knows him knows that he is a successful real estate broker in addition to being Amy's husband. But there are whispers that Chris has abandoned his career altogether. Did Amy Roloff coerce him into it? The most genuine love story on Lpbw is, as mentioned before, the one between Amy and Chris. Their friendship turned into love, and 3 years later, they tied the knot. A lot of people look up to their daring and excitement. Of her husband assisting her or eating food that Amy has prepared for him appear regularly on Amy's social media accounts. Biking is another one of Chris Marek's favorite activities. Recently, Amy and her husband have been seeing several images from her biking trip. Seeing how much time Chris and his girlfriend spend together in their spare time has piqued their interest in his career. His possible departure to be with his wife is what they think. Chris, according to Lpbw and online sources, is a real estate agent. He owns his own real estate company, Keller Williams. Unexpectedly, Sports.com reports that Chris Marek's net worth is $1 million. He is thus in a financially sound position. It is still unclear whether he has actually resigned from his position. Chris also does not spend much time on social media, so we will not know much about his work until he releases it. Fans are nevertheless happy for the couple since it shows they are trying new things and thriving. Chris and Amy's antics have been exciting viewers of Lpbw and social media users for the last 3 years. That they are full-time adventurers is something they have made no secret of. They go on many vehicle rides, with the former often lending the latter his bike. On one such instance, Amy recounted on social media how she was lost and stuck in a remote area near Nevada. It occurred whenever there was an issue with their bike, such as when the battery died. To that end, Amy posted an article online. She made a plea for help after others viewed their story. Not long after, a kind man called Rob came across them and offered to drive them to the store and back, as well as provide them with a replacement battery. Once again, Amy praised the Lord for enabling her to continue her journey. Chris and Amy have been showered with an abundance of love and appreciation. Because of their passionate attitude on life, admirers are falling head over heels for them. With respect to the second, we do not yet know his official work position. Lil People, Big World Sneak Peek. Amy says visiting ex-Matt and Karen in Arizona is not easy at all. Amy Roloff, accompanied by Chris Merrick, travels to Arizona to see her ex-boyfriend Matt Roloff and his girlfriend Karen Chandler at their house. It was no picnic making the journey to Arizona to see them at their house. In this special preview of Little People, Big World's June 28th episode, Amy says, "There is simply too much history for me." Chris always finds the positive side of everything. An exuberant Chris tells Amy it will be fun. In fact, he seems quite enthusiastic about it. Hopefully, Amy may realize that it can be lighthearted joy to be with Matt and Karen, Chris says. Amy finds it to be slightly more complex than that. Guess who it is? My ex-partner. This is his girlfriend, and I do not want to pretend like nothing has occurred, so I am putting up a front, Amy says. To be honest, I simply want to proceed with a modicum of care. In Arizona, Chris and Amy have arrived. To be honest, I simply want to proceed with a modicum of care. In Arizona, Chris and Amy have arrived. Outside, Matt is patiently waiting for them. Welcome. Matt and Karen are happy to show them around their house. Tori and Zach's former bedroom is the one that Matt takes them to. In an interview, Matt admitted, "We get along great with Amy and Chris. This is just what I had hoped would happen all along. It would be ideal if Zach and Tori could visit Arizona so that we could all take a mini vacation together. But unfortunately, that is not going to happen anytime soon." After Zach's attempts to purchase his mom's share of the farm went through in negotiations between Matt and Zach, tensions rose among the Roloff family. All of us are related. However, that is the reality. My own family needs my attention. My relationship with Tori is over. We want Grandpa to remain involved with our children's lives because, well, he is Grandpa. However, Zach believes it will be different. Fans share their stories of interactions with Little People. Big World star Amy Roloff. The Rolos discuss their strategies for handling interrupting fans. Even while it can be tough to talk to celebrities in public, Amy Roloff tells her followers that her and other celebs try our best to keep their cool. Is that your reaction to So You Think You Can Dance? The Lil People, Big World star replied on a video that Candace Cameron Bure had posted this week, following Judge Jojo Siwa's allegation that Bure had been rude to her at a premiere party years ago. Candace warned her fans that even a TikTok trend can be harmful after discussing how the former Dance Moms actress had branded her the rudest celebrity. Can do damage because our words matter and our actions count, Jojo said of the person she was following when she made her comment about Candace. We all have an impact on those around us, she concluded. Amy, who spoke about her own experience interacting with fans, was among the famous personalities and celebrities that encouraged Candace in her post. When we are fully engaged in what we are doing, whether it is working, chatting, or just enjoying being out in public with loved ones, Amy pointed out, it could be difficult to stop and say hello to everyone. We do our best. Like Candace, I love interacting with new individuals, learning about them, and capturing their personalities through photography. Even if it is not our intention, there may not always be enough time to pause and greet everyone. Nevertheless, it does happen. Amy proceeded by expressing her frustration with fans who incessantly interrupt when out with pals. Try waiting a few minutes instead of a few seconds for her to gain some alone time. We all try our best, and our words and deeds affect other people. Tori Roloff, who is Amy's daughter-in-law, also voiced her support for Candace in the comments area. She expressed her love and admiration for him even more in her letter. Very well put. A number of Lpbw supporters and even some detractors shared their experiences with Amy and her family in response to her remark. We met a few years ago on the farm, and you were the most generous person to my daughter Hannah and me. You spoke words of encouragement to her. That has stuck with me forever. It was a thank you from one of Amy's readers. You have consistently shown great kindness in the pumpkin patch, despite the fact that you are well aware that working there is the most physically demanding job in the world. I appreciate it. Another person commented, "Good day, Amy. I cannot help but laugh at how renowned you are and how infamously rude you are." Anyway, good effort, someone else said. Someone else who appears to live in the Hillsboro, Oregon area near the family spoke negatively of Amy and her relatives. Who needs to deal with the camera crew and be told, do not get near them when they are shopping at Fred Meyer in Hillsboro like they are God? It is annoying enough to live in the same town as a reality star, the person stated. I apologize. I avoided your family. You have no idea how entitled the Roloffs are when it comes to their groceries. All I wanted was them. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.